It is too close. There you see the results. Right. It is not. This is not over. 74% of the precincts reporting, and here you see Jeff Ashton with 54% and Lawson Lamar with 46%. Until that says 100%, this is still a race, and we're just waiting for the final numbers to come in from the supervisor of elections office tonight. Want to be very clear on that as we show you the numbers on the board right there. 74% of the precincts reporting.
So we still have a ways to go. And as the results from today's primary election continue pouring in, we continue our live team coverage right now.
State Representative Scott Randolph joining us here. You're in our studios. So as you watch the whole, the big picture here of this race that everybody has been watching, it's gotten very dirty, many times going below the belt with these two gentlemen. What do you see here for your party right now? Is it time to move forward? Is it time for a new beginning, or stay with the way it's been for decades?
Well, I presume you're talking about the state attorney's race.
That is correct.
And, you know, what was interesting about this race was that it had been a closed primary, and then the Republican that filed dropped out after qualifying. And so it became an open primary. So one of the first things that stands out at me is actually I'm surprised by the lack of drop-off that occurred in this race. So there were certainly the vast majority of Republicans that came out to vote in the primary actually seemed to have voted for a state attorney as well, even though there was a Democrat by both the candidates' names. So I was expecting a bit more of a drop-off just because I thought the Republicans might skip this race. But clearly they did vote in this race. And, you know, this race is over because it was decided in the primary. There's nothing going on in the general election. So this race is over. We welcome Jeff Ashton, obviously, and Ryan Williams, who had been in that race and endorsed Jeff Ashton. Had been a terrific candidate as well, and we certainly will miss Lawson Lamar, who has been a good state attorney as well.
Okay, once again, you're sounding as a concession speech, but until we get the actual final numbers, we just want to say we're not calling anything at the present time.
Let me say that statistically, I think it's over. But,
okay.
Hey,
maybe the candidates have a little bit more faith, but when you look at the math, I think it's done.
Where do you go from here?
Well, party-wise, I mean, you know, look, the primaries are always going to be tough. I mean, we had a couple of very heated primaries this election cycle. District 49 with Joe Saunders and Cheyenne Elahi. Was pretty heated out there, as well as the Republican primary. And we see that race, the Republican primary, coming down to just a couple of hundred votes there. And in a seat that could have been competitive, I think Marco Pena winning that Republican primary actually gives Joe Saunders a pretty good, clear path to victory in November.
Thank you very much, State Representative Scott Randolph, joining us here live in the studios on News 13. We appreciate your insight tonight.